Alright, today we're gonna be trying to replace a thermostat on a 2010 Mazda 3. Alright, it blew a couple of codes. I'll put the codes up in the pictures and the description, but all the codes I believe are related to the thermostat not working. So what we did was you got to drain the radiator, okay? And there's a screw in here. It takes a Phillips head or a flathead, okay? You have to unscrew it loose enough to the point where fluid comes out. If the fluid doesn't come out, you may have to wedge something in there to kind of give you a little bit to unscrew it to get it to go. And then it starts draining. As you can see, here's the coolant. Okay, all draining out. Okay. And then you're gonna come up here and you got a tensioner here. All right, you have to take the tensioner and it's a 9/16 and you move it, take the belt off. Don't let the belt go, keep it all. Hook it up, pull it back so it stays good. And then you're gonna have to remove the tensioner. The tensioner is gonna be 3 12mm bolts that have to be removed. Once you get those 3 12mm bolts out, this bad boy pops right out. Okay. And there's where we're headed. Okay. We got to disconnect this hose, that hose, and I believe there's a sensor there too. We'll find it. And then we got to get those bolts out. All right. Before you disconnect the hoses from the thermostat, tighten that screw back up. So I'm going to take my pan and I'm going to slide it over to the other side, because when you take those hoses off, I'm sure there's fluid gonna come out, so you're gonna wanna have a pan underneath it. And also, there's usually a shield here. I've done so much work on this car already that I just left the shield off. You're gonna have to take the shield off. It's a bunch of stupid clips. And you gotta take it down so you can even access this area right here. All right, you got 2 compression clips here. These are the good clips. All right, you gotta remove this clip. You gotta remove this clip. These hoses may be kind of stuck, like normally they all fucking are. So you're gonna have to like wiggle it or get something underneath this edge. All right, like a little hook screwdriver or something you can, and pry it off on either one and slide both these off. And then there's 3 8mm bolts that have to be removed. All right, this is what it looks like out of the car. Basically, the orientation is like this. Okay, see the bolt holes? Okay, so it sits in there like that. You got those 3 bolts there. All right. Well, I already pulled it out. It's a whole assembly. I got the new one in. All right. That bolt's easy to get out. That bolt's, relatively easy. And there's the one down there. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. You can see it through here. If you can see, let's see if I can not bring it out of focus. See right there? That's the head of the bolt. Right there. So you can kind of see what you're doing from here at this vantage point. Okay? This is what I had to put together to do this. Okay? 8mm. And I had to have an extender that flexed. Everything moves. Okay? That helped out a lot. Okay? I used a little silicone gasket maker in the holes to hold the bolts when I put them in. And then I bolted them down. And then I got them down snug. I wouldn't want to over torque it because it's plastic, but you got to make sure that it's snug enough. And now we're going to put the hoses back together. Okay, both hoses are reattached. with the original stock clips, which are the ones that are preferred to use. All right, now we're gonna put the tensioner pulley back in. It's 3 bolts. We're gonna put that bad boy in. We're gonna get that torqued in. And we're gonna get the belt back on, and then we're gonna start filling with coolant. I also forgot to mention this. I had to move this out of the way because I had to get clearance to get the bolts out. This clip's right over here. I'm gonna return it to its spot. It's right back here. All right, once you get the tensioner back in and everything bolted together, reinstall your belt. You should be able to just unhook the hook, bring it back over, use your wrench to move the arm, put the belt back over, and then let it go. And then you're gonna wanna refill your reservoir. And then what I do is I fill it and then I start it, and then I wait and I watch, and for all the bubbles to come out, and as needed, I'll add it. But you should be pretty good maybe after like 1 or 2 tries, and it should be full. And that's your thermostat installed.